Okay, let's see. Baryon or meson? Baryon number. I'll give you a clue. Okay, when you figure out the baryon number, if it's got a baryon number of 1, it's a baryon. If it's got a baryon number of 0, it's a meson. The other giveaway, baryon and meson, is that baryons are always 3 quarks and meson is always a quark-anti-quark pair. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, there it is, right? So basically it's just a matter of looking up what these things are and then just writing it down, right? So USB, I just thought that was kind of fun. USB, Universal Serial Bus or something. What does that stand for? All right, so let's look at the baryon number of this thing, right? U is 1/3. And S is 1/3. And B is 1/3. They're all 1/3. So unless you got like an anti-quark or something in there, right? Which sort of implies, right? We couldn't have US anti-bottom, right? Because then we'd get into charge problems, right? We'd end up with like a charge of 1/3 or something like that, right? So the baryon number is 1 for this. There is a strangeness. Remember, the strange quark is -1, right? The charge on this guy, let's look at the charge. U up is 2/3. S is -1/3, right? Looking at this, right? And B is -1/3. So that's 0 charge. It's strange. It's got a -1 strangeness. It's definitely got a baryon number of 1, so it's a baryon. All right. And then this guy is a quark-anti-quark pair, right? So the baryon number is 1/3, -1/3, because the antiparticles have opposite of these numbers, right? Okay, so the baryon number is 0. That makes it a meson. All right, and then the strangeness, well, it's an anti-strange, right? And since strange is -1, anti-strange is +1 strangeness, right? The charge, let's see the charge, down, anti-strange. Well, so down is -1/3. Anti-strange is +1/3. So that's 0. It has 0 charge. All right. Let's see, UUC. We got 3 quarks, so this is going to be 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, right? None of them are antimatter quarks, so that adds up to 1. So therefore, it's a baryon. Or it's got 3. It's a baryon, right? Strangeness. None of these are strange. Only the strange quark is strange, so no strangeness there, right? And then what is the charge? Well, U is 2/3. And another U is another 2/3, right? And then C is 2/3, right? So this guy is 2+, right? It's crazy. And you can look up what these guys are, what we call them. There it is, right? And then charm anti-up is definitely a meson, right? Because it's going to be a 1/3, -1/3 baryon number, right? So meson. All right. And then let's see the strangeness. Well, none of those are strange, so there's no strangeness, right? And then the charge on this guy is, let's see, charm anti-up. So charm is 2/3, and then charge 2/3, and then anti-up is -2/3. Is 0. Okay, now both of our mesons had no charge. It is not true that mesons don't have charge, right? They can be +1 or -1 as well. Let's consider, for example, up anti-down, right? That would have a charge of 2/3, and then anti-down is the opposite of -1/3, right? Right, would be +1, right? And if I had strange anti-charm. He had strange anti-charm. He was a vampire. All right. That would be -1/3. And then anti-charm would be, charm would be +2/3, but anti-charm would be -2/3, right? Is -1, right? So we had a couple examples where the charge was 0, but it could be +1 or -1. There is no way with 2 quarks to make a +2 charge. So mesons are limited to that, right? To +1, -1, or 0. All right, good enough. So this is just a matter of just looking these things up.